Start.
Yeah, sure.
Good evening to all the participants and a special welcome to Dr. Chaya for accepting our invitation and coming and being a invited speaker for our CIC webinar series. So to brief about the relationship between CIC and BIRAC, I could say it started maybe around 2018 technically, and from operation wise from 2019, CIC had received the Bionest grant of 1.8 crore from BIRAC. And under this Bionest category, there are 20 startups. And these 20 startups are under the category of life sciences, we could say. And these life sciences are spread across the sectors of agri-tech, nanotech, medical devices, healthcare, sanitations, and other core biotech sectors. So apart from these life science startups, we have other startups from the sectors of Industry 4.0 and mobility and transportation. So altogether, we have startups of 36. And apart from these 36, we have 21 student startups too. So far, CIC was able to support all these startups in raising funds, especially with the support of EDI, Tamil Nadu government's entrepreneurship development wing. Startups were able to raise about 70 lakhs of seed fund, and CIC was able to support under the sets of growth phase startups in raising around 36 crores of private fund. So coming to our speaker of the day, Dr. Chaya. So she, as by qualification, she holds a doctorate degree and she has a very strong research experience in immunology and parasitology. She was in team of various national programs such as National Polio Surveillance Programs and also in H1N1 outbreaks outbreaks at NCDC Delhi. She has several years of experience in management of several initiatives of government, especially in innovation, entrepreneurship, startups, and incubation. She was the manager for the Make in India initiative, especially in the biotech sector, and also been an integral part for the Startup India Action Plan, that too in the biotech sector also. Currently, she leads the Bionest scheme of the BioRac. Now, in one line, Bionest is nothing but bio incubators, nurturing enterprises for scaling technologies. So she's here to discuss about the startup innovation ecosystem and the role of BIRAC that is played into it. So the floor is passed on to Dr. Chaya.
Hi, a very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Nisha. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're audible. If you could come a bit more louder, it will be convenient.
Okay, fine. A very good afternoon to all of you. I would like to extend a very warm welcome for this webinar today. Uh, I would take this opportunity to thank Dr. Parvez Alam, Dr. Disha, and other team members of the Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council who've given me this opportunity today to tell about the role that BIRAC has played in creating the startup culture ecosystem in the country. So my today's session would be focused on basically what are the various propositions that BIRAC is offering to startups, what are the various ways in which BIRAC is facilitating startups to take up their ideas and translate them into products. And then the next section, this would be my first section. And in the second section of my presentation, I would also tell about how various organizations can engage with BIRAC to set up incubation centers and become partners with BIRAC to promote and nurture the ecosystem. So to begin with, how did organizations like BIRAC were set up by the government? So if we go a little a decade back, so there were various high quality education institutions in India, but no translation of R&D was happening. So various high quality S&T institutions were there like IIC, IITs, ICERs, DB institutes. We had best of faculty that was roped in from different institutions, best of the institutions around the globe. Best teachers were available in these institutions. The students were making their mark all over the world, and but these institutions were basically focused on basic R&D. And it would see we could see that there was minimal impact on industry in those early days. Little translation of R&D was happening, and there were no collaborations between industry and academia at that time. So then this a shift happened of translating R&D to commercial products and technologies. So earlier, the academia believed that industry is not interested in their R&D, and the industry similarly believed that academia is basically focusing on R&D, and it is all about publishing papers and things like that, and no products and translation is happening. But there was this change in the situation. There were committed academia with a vision who wished to take their ideas ahead and translate them into products that would be nationally relevant. There were institutes and universities that had started becoming open to formal and informal interactions between academia and industries. And then also at government level, there were policies and mindset change. So with this, uh, even Department of Biotechnology, that comes under Ministry of Science and Technology, carved out of it an organization which is called BIRAC, that is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, that was basically established to facilitate innovators, startups, and entrepreneurs to translate their ideas into products that would be nationally relevant and would address the needs of the unmet needs of the society. So BIRAC is basically a Section 8 not-for-profit company, uh, and it has its presence and span all over India. It supports startups and entrepreneurs and small and medium-sized enterprises.
Chaya, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you come a bit more near to your microphone? I mean, audio is not clear for many.
Okay, and now Nisha, is it clear?
Yeah, better, much better.
Yeah, maybe you can talk a little louder. Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Okay, so basically, as I mentioned, BIRAC is a Section 8 not-for-profit company under the aegis of Department of Biotechnology. It was basically set up to support startups and entrepreneurs and small and medium enterprises, and also it supports big industries also. So basically, how do we facilitate all of this? So we facilitate through entrepreneurship. We, create opportunities for entrepreneurs. We have funding schemes, where we have schemes like BIG, SIBRI, BIPT, where we support and fund entrepreneurs. We also, set up incubation centers. So incubation centers are basically places where startups and entrepreneurs can go and set up their get access to high-end instrumentation, set up their offices over there, and take mentorship of related to technology, IP, and regulatory related services. So basically, a budding startup, everything a budding startup would need is provided by these incubation centers. So Crescent is one such incubation center that BIRAC has supported. And then we also provide mentorship that is technical and regulatory IP related. We also provide opportunities for the startups at both national and international level. So this is how, in this slide, you can see how BIRAC is energizing the startup ecosystem. We provide funding support through various schemes. We provide incubation support. We have till now established 50 incubators across India that are specialized and focused incubators in the biotechnology sector. More than 5 lakh square feet of incubation space has been facilitated through these incubation centers, and more than 600 startups are benefited through these incubation centers. We also have an IP cell that facilitates IP and technology management. Handholding and facilitation is also provided through various facilitation cells. We have Make in India facilitation cells, which is a dedicated cell to support startups and innovators. We also have a First Hub cell, which is a facilitation cell where regulatory and other IP related support is provided to entrepreneurs. So this is a gist of various funding schemes that BIRAC offers. So from initiation, that is from student level schemes up till product commercialization, we have the entire gamut of schemes. So here you can see that from student level, that is Sitare and EUA schemes, where we fund students to just take their ideas, to just test their ideas. So we fund up till commercialization of a product. Then we have schemes like big scheme, which is known as biotechnology ignition grant, where we fund up to INR 50 lakhs to entrepreneurs and innovators for converting, for testing their idea, converting into a POC. Then we have SIBRI and BIPP, which are advanced level schemes where we fund for field testing, piloting, and validation. We have a seed scheme, which is first exposure of a startup to an equity-based scheme. This is implemented through our incubation centers. We have other equity schemes as well, like ACE Fund, Lease Fund, etc. And then we also have a product commercialization unit where startups are facilitated to commercialize their products and technologies, and also are connected with the other stakeholders of the industry, where which can then facilitate these startups to commercialize their products. So these are the various funding and capacity building. Various funding, capacity building, incubation, mentorship, various facilities that BIRAC provides are listed down over here. In this slide, this is a very interesting slide. So in this slide, and the entire spectrum of products is basically the ideas which have been translated into products is displayed. So these ideas have been developed from startups who belong to tier 1, tier 2 cities, from metro cities, basically from all the part of the countries. So if you notice, all these solutions that we are promoting are technology-led solutions. So one of the inherent quality of these technology-led solutions is that they don't wither out, say, in 3 to 5 years of time, but they are here to stay for a longer duration. And also they provide solutions to unique problems. They are disruptive in nature. So here it is also important to highlight that the domain that we are referring to is the biotechnology segment. It has its, basically inherent challenges that a startup in this sector faces, like a long gestation period from, the startup typically takes from idea to product development. Typically, a biotech startup would take around 5 to 8 years. Then it is high investment sector. Also high risk is involved, high attrition rate. This sector has all these challenges. Having said that, high risk some with high rewards. So basically these solutions are unique solutions that solve particular problems. So this slide is just a representation of such solutions that we support. From our beneficiaries that we've supported till now, more than 150 products have been developed and are in market and are available and commercialized. So this is a gist of what BIRAC has done till now to build the innovation ecosystem. We have, so BIRAC was established in 2012. So since then, we have supported more than 1,000 beneficiaries. More than 150 academic institutes have been supported in one or another way. More than 10,000 skilled manpower have been supported. To more than 205 IPs have been filed. 1,000 crores of funding have been committed or disbursed till now. And we have been able to support and establish 50 bio incubators across India till now. And these bio incubators are located in various research organizations, universities. Uh, some are standalone centers also. Some are linked with the special economic zones. So at various places, these incubation centers are established. And more than 5 lakh square feet of incubation space has been created to these incubation centers. More than, as I mentioned earlier, more than 150 products and technologies are out there in market that have been supported by BIRAC. So now I would, mention about the various schemes. I think a lot of startups and entrepreneurs would be present in the audience, even the faculty. So I would just, take you through the various initiatives, various schemes that BIRAC have, especially for startups, entrepreneurs, academia, and faculties, etc. So this is one. This is the biotechnology ignition grant. This is one of the flagship schemes of BIRAC, and this scheme on its alone has changed the entire biotech landscape of India. So this is a flagship scheme of BIRAC. In this scheme, uh, it provides grant-in aid of up to INR 50 lakhs for a period of 18 months. Here, I would also like to highlight one thing, that even individual entrepreneurs can apply under this scheme. So this is the only scheme where individuals can also apply. Otherwise, you have to have a startup or a company registered. Only then you can get funding grants from different agencies. But this is the only scheme where individuals can also test their ideas and take it up to proof of concept level. So this is the purpose of the scheme, is basically to nurture entrepreneurship and enable translation of ideas into commercially viable products. It has, it has actually created a stir in the biotech startup ecosystem in the country. So this scheme is implemented through our selected BioNest incubators, which we refer to as big partners. We have 8 such big partners across India, which help in implementation of this scheme in the country. So this call for this scheme is announced twice a year, that is in January and in July. So the 8 big partners are CCAMP, Bangalore, FITT Delhi, IKP Hyderabad, Venture Center Pune, KIT Bhubaneswar, Assign IIT Bombay, NARM Hyderabad, and then we also have at IIT Kanpur. So you would see that these big partners are spread across the country. So these are some of the highlights of the big scheme. We have, till now, we've received more than 6,000 proposals. More than 500 projects have been supported till now. More than, interestingly, we see that more than 120 startups have been formed through this scheme. That is, they had enrolled as individuals, but after completing their big grant, they have set up their startup companies. 75, more than 75 from this pool is able to raise the follow-on funding after the big grant. And under this scheme, more than 120 IPs have been filed, and more than 50 products have been developed. Another scheme that I would like to take you through is the EUA scheme, that is encouraging youth. The EUA scheme, that is encouraging youth for undertaking innovative research through vibrant acceleration. So this scheme is also for students, that is PG level students, postdoctoral researchers, and undergraduate students. So these EUA scheme has 2 components. One is EUA centers and another is the fellowship component. So basically the EUA centers are pre-incubation facilities that are housed within university or institute. That is, the institute or university would designate an area of around 3,000 square feet as EUA center, which would have the basic instrumentation facility that a biotech entrepreneur would require. And these EUA centers would be open for biotech entrepreneurs in those universities and nearby colleges. So, and another component of this scheme is fellowships. So we would also give fellowships to PG level students and also to postdoctoral students under this scheme, and also to the undergraduate scheme. So basically this scheme was formulated keeping in mind that we wanted to, promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, that is applied research and need-oriented entrepreneurial innovation among the university students, among the college students. So this scheme is basically designed for that. And till now, we have 5 such centers. One is at Coimbatore, then US Dharwad, University of Rajasthan Jaipur, Punjab, that is PU, and Anna University, Chennai. And we are looking to create more such EUA centers. We have received applications for creating new such pre-incubation EUA centers. And in this current financial year, we'll be able to add around 10 new such centers in our ecosystem. Another scheme that I would like to talk about is the Sitare scheme. This is also for undergraduate and postgraduate students. So the mandate of the scheme is to promote and encourage young students to embrace translational research. So this scheme is run through our partner. We've partnered with Srishti Ahmedabad that facilitates to run this scheme. And this scheme also has 2 components. One is awards and another is appreciation grants and workshops and related activities. So under the award, we facilitate 15 awardees each year with up to INR 15 lakhs of funding to each of those awardees. And those awardees would be expected to undertake projects that has commercial potential and would lead to creation of biotech startups. So basically, all our schemes are focused to create that ecosystem to facilitate creation of biotech startups. So the scheme, the big scheme that I talked about, the EUA and Sitare, these are the schemes that are basically that would facilitate the young entrepreneurs, students, and researchers. The next scheme that I would like to highlight is the PACE scheme. Basically, it is promoting academic research conversion to enterprise. This scheme is basically focused for the academia that would like to take their ideas ahead. So this scheme also has 2 components. One is AIR and the other component is CRS. So AIR is academic innovation research. Here also, like big scheme, you get 50 lakhs funding for 18 months. And this is basically to promote development of a proof of concept. The academia can collaborate with industry or can also not collaborate with. So it is up to the academia whether or not they would like to involve industry at that level. Also, another component of this scheme is the contract research scheme, that is the CRS. So this is basically to validate the process or prototype, and here you get 36 funding for 36 months without any capping. But here industry involvement, that is industrial partner involvement, is compulsory. Another, so now we would move to some advanced level, advanced stage schemes, that is SIBRI and BIPT. SIBRI is a Small Business Innovation Research Initiative. This scheme supports development of initial validation of new products and technologies. That is, up to TRL 6 level projects are supported under this scheme. And this is 100% grant in aid. That is, BIRAC grant in aid for projects that are up to 50 lakhs, and more than 50 lakhs would be some cost sharing. And then we have biotechnology industry partnership program that supports validation of more than TRL 6 level projects. That is basically for commercialization of products and technologies. Along with the grant and aid schemes, BIAC also has equity schemes. So equity schemes, seed fund and lead fund are two equity schemes that are implemented through our BioNest incubators. So BIRAC gives funds to incubators, and then incubator would invest in startup based on the equity that it would hold. So we under the seed fund, uh, each incubator would invest up to INR 30 lakhs in a startup. In the lead fund, each incubator can invest up to INR 1 CR in the startups. Similarly, we also have another equity scheme that is ACE Fund, wherein we have various funding, implementation partners. So this is like a fund of funds equity scheme. Along with these funding facilitations that BIRAC do, so it is not just the funding that a budding startup requires at early stage. A startup also needs facilitation and handholding. So we, along with the funding opportunities that BIRAC provides, we also felt that a startup needs, because biotechnology is a sector where there are various regulations and certifications are required to take a product into market. So we have set up a facilitation unit at BIRAC, where we have representatives from DBT, BIRAC, ICMR, and CEDESCO, and also other stakeholders. So every first Friday of every month, a facilitation cell is hosted at BIRAC, where through prior appointment, a startup can interact with these representatives, that is with these facilitators, and can get one-to-one answer to their queries. So this facilitation cell is takes place at BIRAC every Friday every first Friday of the month. We also have another facilitation and handholding cell, that is the Make in India facilitation cell. So the Make in India facilitation cell, as you all must be aware of, the Make in India initiative and the Startup in India initiative that our Honorable Prime Minister had launched in 2014 and 16 respectively. So these initiatives are basically the Make in India facilitation cell is responsible for implementing these initiatives for the biotechnology sector at BIRAC. So this facilitation cell is also housed at BIRAC. So and the basic role of this facilitation cell is to foster innovations, facilitate investments, and establish best-in-class infrastructure, help in ease of doing business, and other related activities. So this is also a facilitation cell that is established at BIRAC. So now I would like to talk about a scheme that is, I had earlier, I was going through the names of the various people who are attendees in today's webinar. So I had come across various people who are from various universities and organizations. So this is a scheme for them. So basically, we have this scheme called BioIncubators Nurturing Entrepreneurship for Scaling Technologies. This scheme basically helps in setting up of incubation centers across India. So these incubation centers are housed within universities, institutes, IITs, engineering colleges, central, private, all these places. So, and these incubation centers are, these are the various domains in which these incubation centers are specific in. They could be in agriculture, healthcare, clean energy, industrial, medtech, and biopharma. All these incubation centers could be generic also. So maybe all these sectors could be at one incubation centers, and incubatees or startups could take those facilitations at one single incubation center also. So these are the various opportunities that are also available at BIRAC. So these incubation centers would provide access to high-end instrumentation, would provide access to office space, incubation space. These incubation centers would also, help to provide mentorship and trainings. So mentorship would be related to technical, IP, regulatory, and all those things. So everything a startup requires at that budding stage, these incubation centers are able to provide. So that if an entrepreneur or a immature startup enters an incubation center, we expect that a mature startup with a product that is ready to pilot or scale comes out of the incubation center. So till now, as you can see in this map, till now we've supported supported around 50 bio incubators across India. So these incubators are located in various states, as you can see. More than 300 crores of funding have been committed to these incubation centers, and more than 5 lakh square feet of incubation space has been facilitated. And these incubation centers house more than 600 incubatees at present. So along with this, BIRAC also organizes various outreach, networking, and showcasing events. So we have our regular events that are organized at BIRAC also, and various other places like Foundation Day, Innovators Meet, conclaves, and evangelization workshops through our various partners, investors meet, where all these opportunities provide showcasing opportunities to our startups and entrepreneurs, so that they can showcase their products and technologies, their ideas to the different stakeholders. So this is also one of the very important roles that BIRAC plays. We also have a national biopharma mission program management unit at BIRAC. Basically, it is a partnership between Department of Biotechnology, BIRAC, and World Bank. Under this initiative also, we launched various calls related to biopharma and related activities. So this PMU was basically established with a vision to create and enable an ecosystem for preparing India's technological and product development capabilities in biopharmaceuticals. So another PMU that we have at BIRAC is Brand Challenges India. This is a flagship program and partnership between Department of Biotechnology, BIRAC, BMGF, and Wellcome Trust. So under this initiative also, various theme-based challenges are launched, like for maternal and child health, agriculture, sanitation, immunization and infectious diseases, for data analysis, and all those areas. So these are also various other initiatives that BIRAC has. So BIRAC believes that it is not independently or alone BIRAC can do all this what we have been facilitating till now. So BIRAC believes that it is very important to build collaborations and build partnerships to create this innovation ecosystem. So we have numerous partnerships with the other stakeholders nationally and internationally. So all our incubators, startups, entrepreneurs can avail these facilitations, can also access these opportunities, and can also make collaborations or partner with these partners. I would like to now share with you some case studies that BIRAC have supported till now, because till now I have mentioned about the various opportunities that BIRAC has created to energize the ecosystem. Now I would like to share with you some case studies that have been facilitated through this ecosystem. So here I would so this is some of the startups that belong to the Startup India Biodesign. They were fellows from this program, and now they are our supported startups. So just to give you an idea, we have from Nitin Sisodia from Soham Labs, who has developed this equipment that is called Soham. That is a device to test hearing loss, that is to screen hearing loss in the newborns. Then similarly, we have Avijit Bansal from Windmill. He has developed this newborn resuscitation device. Similarly, in the bottom of the slide, you can see an innovator who has developed this flexible, cast called Flexi OH. Then we have young scientists also who have turned into entrepreneurs. So we have Tuin and his team, which is now from Pandaram. They were postdocs from ISC. They teamed up, and now they are developing artificial human liver. So they have been able to raise funding from Flipkart and IN and other agencies. We have Dhananjay from Achira Labs. He was also a postdoc from MIT, and now he has a successful startup. Similarly, we have Pankaj Parashar, that is from Cutting Edge. He was a medical doctor and now turned into entrepreneur. He has developed this point of care, device to test protein estimation in human samples. Similarly, we have people who have left their very lucrative jobs in the corporate world and followed their passion. We have Dr. Sudeshna, who has a startup called Omics Lab. She had 20 years of experience in GE and now is developing a point of care diagnostic test. Similarly, Anand Kumar from Bugworks, he is also a serial entrepreneur now and is developing new drugs for drug resistant infections. We also have people like Ashish Davare. They are experienced professionals, and now they are developing a defibrillator that runs without electricity. Similarly, social entrepreneurs, where we have surgeons turned into entrepreneurs, cancer biologists who is passionate enough to develop solutions for breast cancer survivors and other similar products. So these are some of the case studies that I wanted to share with you so that you have the understanding how people are taking up their passion and how we are, how there are agencies like BIRAC to support them and to, take their ideas ahead and to, we just don't seed those ideas. We just don't seed those startups, but we see to it that if a product is worth supporting, if that solution is worth supporting, then we would take that solution up to the market, and we see to it that solution doesn't fade away due to lack of fundings or mentorship or things like that. But then that solution is commercialized into a product and reaches the market. Similarly, right now, as you all know, we are facing this pandemic of COVID right now. So we also have launched several initiatives for that. So these are the various solutions that we have supported till now. These would include smart stethoscope or PPE kits or face shields, even in vitro diagnostic kits, point of care solutions. So these are the various type of solutions that we have supported till now for the COVID crisis. We have DBT and BIRAC together have supported AMTZ, to facilitate manufacturing of diagnostic kits, ventilators, and thermal scanners, and on an immediate basis. So this is right now going on in AMTZ at Vizag. So we have also launched various initiatives. We had a COVID research consortium call that closed on 15th of May, and we had received more than 1,000 applications under that call, which are under review. And we also have a process that is fast track funding process wherein we conduct, reviews on a daily basis. So under this initiative also, we've announced two types of calls. One for startups which who have solutions that are ready and are immediate, ready for immediate deployment, can submit their solutions to us directly. And also, this call is also launched for organizations which are, ready to fund in those startups, can also partner with us to avail the co-funding opportunities. So we have, during this COVID situation, we felt that startups would need more of our support. So instead of organizing or having this first hub session that I mentioned earlier, once every month, we have now initiated this to organize it every Friday. So now, from 3rd April onwards, this first hub session is organized every Friday, where we take up queries that are related to COVID-19, especially related to COVID-19, every Friday. And there are representatives from various government agencies available to answer those queries. We are also continuously organizing several webinars. We've partnered with some legal agencies also to give information about the various legal impact, business impact, legal impact to our startups. We are organizing other webinars wherein we bring investors and other stakeholders so that to enlighten the startups. So thank you all for this webinar, and this is my email ID, which is sped4.bairak@nic. So I'm now available for answering your questions, and I think Nisha, I would now pass on the mic to you.
Thank you, Chaya. It was very inspiring, I could say, because when it comes to a startup, you have covered everything from the funding, from the marketplace, how a government and a startup works together. And finally, you gave an inspiration, like even for a researcher, he can be a startup, even apart from a real startup or an enterprise who's already recognized. So before we go on to the Q&A section, I'll just raise the poll. So now I would personally invite Mr. Parvez Alam, CEO and Director of CIC, to give, because you've been a very helpful for us. You've been, in fact, the BIRAC, the whole team was supportive. So I've personally asked Parvez Alam to give us a word of thanks. So
thank you, Dr. Nisha, and thank you, Dr. Chaya. It is very inspiring. You have been great, supportive, not only to the incubator, for all the startups, and BIRAC itself is very inspiring. And I would say it's very dynamic, and I'm sure every participant will have enjoyed. And so I think they have asked various questions. Apart from you can supporting them, we can also personally talk to them and then ensure what support as a partner of BIRAC we can do. Thank you so much for your time despite your busy schedule. Now we'll maybe take questions. Thank you, madam.
yeah, Chai, before I start with, there were many common questions. It's like how to reach to BIRAC. So whether should they write to you personally, or is there any other point of contact, and phone numbers they have been asking. So can you give a brief about that?
Yeah, sure. So there are various ways by which you can reach BIRAC. So basically, you can write to us. So basically, we have various schemes, and those schemes are led by different people or different people or different managers. So for each and every scheme, we have a manager assigned, and on the website, when you will log in, there are a description of each and every scheme. So, and the email ID would be given over there for that particular scheme. So you can submit your queries directly to that person with regards to that particular scheme, and also you can write on the BIRAC general email ID also. that also gets navigated to the person concerned. So that is one way you can reach BIRAC. And then we also have a number given on the website. You can also, but given the current situation, I don't know how useful that would be. But email is, I think, the answer for getting in touch with any of us at BIRAC.
So
Maybe Dr. Chaya, I will also add, maybe they can also contact us in case they couldn't
Yeah,
reach
so
you.
we have our extended arms, as I mentioned, our incubation centers. You could reach out to, so in this case, you can reach out to Dr. Parvez and Dr. Nisha at Crescent Innovation and Incubation Council. You can write to them, and then they can, obviously, they can, reach out to us, and whatever facilitation is required, we would be happy to help.
okay. There were again some common questions. It's like while writing for fundings, do they have to be associated with an incubation center, or directly can they apply to BIRAC? In general, not just big, but in general, they were asking.
Okay, so no, that is not a criteria. If you
Okay.
are not associated to an incubation center, then also you can apply to BIRAC. That is not a criteria. But each scheme would have different criteria. So for big scheme, you will need some association with an incubator. But for other schemes, you might not need that. So it is also scheme based.
And this is from a starter, Mr. Hemendra Singh. What he is asking is, like, does BIRAC support in patent filing and processing to individual? So whether do they have to be a startup? If so, or can an individual approach BIRAC for patent filing?
So we have a patent cell at IP facilitation cell at BIRAC. Maybe the startup, Mr. Hemender, can write to me, and I would, navigate them to the IP facilitation cell, and maybe he could, approach, he could, get his query resolved from the IP facilitation cell directly.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Chaya, I will add here. There is a scheme for startups who are registered under Startup India DPIIT portal called Startup Intellectual Property Protection. So SIPP. So in the SIPP, they get up to 25,000 reimbursement. In fact, in our Crescent, we have one impaneled facilitator for SIPP. So we have supported so far 15 patents. So when they come to us, so they actually support it, and then the payment for the facilitator will be directly paid from the DPIIT. So that support is also available.
Yes.
Okay. So next is another set of common questions from the academics. So most of the academics and faculties, they say they have ideas and they have R&D thoughts with them, but how do they go about developing it in the prototype? So I know most of the schemes you have covered, but again, in brief, as one liner for them to uh, keep it in their mind.
Yeah. So if you are just entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, I would say, so incubation centers are the right place you go and just experience what other incubatees are doing. You can get access to the equipment, to all those things. And I am pretty sure that all CEOs and managers of incubation centers would be happy to help you with your idea. So that is the first place you could go and see what you can do with your idea. So they would, they would guide you, they would mentor you, they would help you that whether your idea is worth, whether your idea is worth supporting, or whether your idea has potential. So what I would suggest is that they the entrepreneur can go to the nearby incubation center and get get validated, get just validate the idea by the managers or CEOs of those incubation centers. That would be of great help for the budding entrepreneurs.
Uh, Then next is about big. So some people have asked whether big is a grant or is it a seed fund, and how frequent is it being called, and what is the basic criteria for that?
So a big scheme is pure grant in aid scheme. It is not seed or equity scheme. It is pure grant in aid. It is called twice a year. Two calls in a year are announced. One is in January and another one is in July.
Next is a couple of questions about eUva Center. So Dr. Bhuvaneshwari has asked how to set up the center, and some of them has asked like they have applied it, they got a reply, but when is the funding going to be released? So all those related to eUva, certain questions have been arise. So if you could brief on that. First is how do they go about setting it up? Second is how to apply, and third is some of them have been approved, but when is the funding going to be released?
Okay. So first is how do you set up UR centers? We announce a call for that, and all the eligible organizations can apply under that call, and then based on BIRAC's shortlisting and based on the shortlisting by the experts, so we would then facilitate setting up of those UVA centers at the shortlisted organizations. So then the second question that they have been approved, I would like to clarify that we have only received the applications. So they are under consideration process right now. We have not approved any of the new EUA centers till now. Whenever they will be shortlisted, they will be, they will receive a communication from BIRAC that they have been shortlisted for EUA center, under the EUA center scheme.
Next is an interesting question. What they have asked is like, is all these fundings, especially the programs like Sitare, is it only for biotech? So can it be there for online programs? Because nowadays, now many of the questions, even we also get it, like we are biotech, but we have the concept of IoT or AI incorporated with it. So will this come under the big qualifications, or so will they be chucked out because there is a life science component is there in fact, but there are other component of computer science into it. So they are asking the eligibility for that. Will such programs be supported in BIRAC?
Okay. Basically, so BIRAC is basically an organization that is set up to facilitate biotechnology led. So that is the basis of, basic criteria of BIRAC. Uh, so right now we haven't launched any initiatives that you were saying, like online courses or something like that. But if something like that in future is started, then please keep visiting our website, because things are changing very fast, and but everything, whatever new initiatives that BIRAC launches is uploaded on our website. So what I would suggest to all the researchers or entrepreneurs, that please keep visiting BIRAC's website. So everything that is new, that is launched or announced by BIRAC is uploaded on the BIRAC website.
And some of them needs to know more about the seed. So how do they go about applying for seed funds?
So seed funds are basically at present only available to the incubatees of the incubation center. So for that, they would have to approach the incubation centers that are eligible to disburse that seed funding or invest into the incubatees under the seed fund program. So we have around 6 partners, so that information regarding that can be taken from BIRAC's website. But this is only through the incubation centers, and is only for the incubatees of the incubation center. But here I would like to clarify that it is not just for that particular incubatee of that incubation center. Any incubatee of any of our BioNest supported incubators can approach the seed fund partner and avail that funding support.
Okay. And some again common questions regarding BioNest. Some of the colleges already have startups with them, incubated with them. So how do they go for the next level of applying BioNest?
So they already have a incubation center.
Exactly. I'll read out the question. The question is from Dr. Bhuvaneshwari. What is the procedure to get BioNest for my Konkanad Arts and Science College, Coimbatore? Already we have 14 startups incubated in iHub.
Okay. So, see, the BioNest program is the only program where the call for proposals is open throughout the year. You can just log on to our website. There are BioNest guidelines over there. Just go through those guidelines, and you can submit your application online at any time. So, if you think you are, according to the guidelines, if you feel that you are eligible to apply, you can apply under that program. We'll get back to you after your submission of the paper.
Okay. There's a question about Grand Challenge in India. So what they are, who can apply for GCI flagship program and how?
Okay. So this scheme is also over there at our website. There would be criteria of who can apply or whether right now we have a call or not announced. So I would suggest that please visit our website and see the exact criteria eligibility of who can apply.
Okay. Yeah, there are again some more questions before. It's more or less related to the previous questions, like whether they can whether proposals related to biomedical energy, bioenergy, all these can they apply? So in depth they are being. So where to exactly all the apart from
What
call
I
for? Yeah.
Yeah, what I would suggest is that when you log on to BIRAC website, there is a tab where it keeps beeping that you have new calls announced. So visit that link where the new calls link, and you would get all the calls that are currently open right now. So, but what I would like to mention is that sometimes there are theme-based calls that are announced, so that would be specifically focused. Like we have a call that is announced right now for clean energy related ideas. So, or we have a call for COVID solutions. So there could be theme specific calls, and then there could be general calls also, like for a big scheme. That's a general call whenever it is announced, if it's not theme specific. So that information you would that would be available through our website, that what call is announced at what time and is it specific for particular theme or is it general.
Okay. There's another interesting question. Maybe it's for the BioRack directly. So this is from Riaz. What he's saying is like there are no BioNS network or big incubators in Madhya Pradesh. So when can he, I mean, when is it planned? Or in generic for such people, how do they do? If in their state, if they don't have any incubators, what do they do?
Okay, so your question is very valid, and we also acknowledge this fact that we do not have our presence in, the middle, the central belt, that is Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, and then we do not have our presence in North also. So we have announced various calls for the organizations in those states that they can apply for BioNest. We have been trying from quite some time that we established BioNest incubation centers at these places, uh, uh, and we'll keep trying to reach out to them and to set up incubation centers at those places. So at present, obviously, I mean, I cannot help you that because you don't have an incubation center in your state. But then you are, you can just avail incubation facilities of other states. So in Hyderabad, we have many incubators. Then in Bangalore, we have Chennai, and even in North, we have many incubation centers. So till the time we do not have an incubation facility in your state, you can avail the facility of some other incubation in some other state.
Okay. So this is one of the question raised from CIC startup. His name is Dr. Narasimhan. So what he is like, he is aware of all the funding schemes, and now he is addressing the several products related to COVID, like alcoholic sanitizers, inhalers, immunity boosters. So for what he wants to know is there any support from BioRac in efficacy studies or in vitro clinical studies?
So one is that if it is, yes, related to product development, yes, we do support. But but BIRAC does not support R&D studies. So that is DBT's portfolio, and DBT would support research-related projects. BIRAC uh, funds and supports only those projects that will lead to some product commercialization. So yes, if you have some proposal related to that, then you can submit under the various calls that BIRAC keeps announcing.
Okay, so we have covered almost all the questions. So I'll take up the last question. Which are the schemes under BIRAC which accepts proposal without incubation center?
Without incubation centers.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think a big scheme requires incubation centers, but other schemes would require some R&D facilities. So if a company has their own R&D facility, then they may not require incubation facilities. So they need to provide some proof that they would do their R&D at some place. So that is what the requirement is. But for detailed guidelines, I would suggest that you please log on to BIRAC website. We have a number of schools, and individually you'll have to see what are the criteria for that particular school.
Okay. So once again, Dr. Chaya, I thank you for accepting our invitation, coming down, spending your time with us and taking up all the questions. So to the participants, I would like to say that there were many questions regarding incubation charges, how to apply the procedures. So you are always welcome to reach out to us, because from incubator to incubator, the charges and the procedures vary. Some incubators depend on equity, some it's surf it is rental models. So when it comes to us, you can always call us, or you can write to our director, or you can always talk to our incubator managers also. So, and regarding the Bionest also, Bionest or BioRac proposals, we can always support you. So once your proposal reaches out to us, we can take it out to the big partners. So some of the big partners are there in our advisory boards, and we are also closely connected with the BioRac. So if you have any queries regarding that also, we'll take it directly to the BioRac support team. So once again, Chaya, I thank you, and I request the host, Dinesh, can you end the webinar?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, Nisha. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
thank you.
participant.
Yeah.
I ending the webinar.